Happy Tuesday. Homeschooling life is happening right now as my kids play, so we're gonna make this quick, but I do feel like the title says it, this is for someone feeling stuck, that like me when I was in this position, you've just never considered this strategy, and I believe it will really help someone make a powerful pivot like it helped me, and continues to help me. But it's really, I think, a lot of the new age groups sometimes, here comes the sun, have stolen some of these principles and tools that God gave us, and like my friend Janelle would say, they just took the prince out of the principles. They really just stripped God out of it, but they're benefiting still from just a shell of the principle that still works. And I think this is one of them, which is utilizing our imagination for us instead of against us. So many of us as believers, I do think we're pretty experienced at using our imagination against us, right? When it comes to worrying, anxiety, that's just you having all the anxious imaginations about what would go wrong, what is not, what won't go right, what will fail, ways that you won't live up to what's expected of you. And I feel like God, has been trying to retrain me on how to use my imagination as an ally, use my imagination to tap into heaven, use my imagination to see him, to see the me that is already walking in, that next level that he's trying to call me up to, or things like that. And so this one practice of visualization that he's really been helping me utilize more in prayer, I wanted to give one example of how it truly can help you sometimes find or see a solution that just in your current state or circumstance you're not able to see. You're not even able to, imagine it until you almost take yourself out of where you are and put yourself in the shoes of the woman who has already passed this. Put yourself in the shoes of the woman that God says you are. She's already walking past this issue, walking into victory. It's okay, boo-boo. Just brush the sand out of your eye.
Mommy, my hand.
It's okay. It's okay. Use your shirt. Use your shirt.
Mommy,
Okay.
look where my hands are.
I know. That's why I said use your shirt. So we're going to keep going because I tried to go live 3 times and YouTube crashed on me. So anyways, quickly to wrap it up is I remember I was in a season of, it's still not too far from that season because I'm still putting it into practice, where I wanted to figure out how to wake up early to get things done before the world obviously had any time to distract or derail me, right? And so, girls, just stay over there for a couple minutes. Mommy's almost finished. So let's make this quick. But I was like, God, how do I go from being I wanted to wake up early without an alarm, because with the alarm, the girls would wake up and then it took too much time trying to resettle them. And so God did it. I started waking up at 3:30. My eyes were just open, and I was able to dive into more time with God, more time into getting some strategies from him, things like that. And so, girls, just give mommy 2 more seconds, no shouting. And so I figured out and I realized that even though I would wake up, I'd get a lot done, like by 11 or noon, I was feeling extremely exhausted. And so then I started making the excuse when I would wake up at 3:30, like, God, I don't want to get up because then I'm going to be exhausted for work, or I have no energy now when it's time to homeschool the girls. And, it's just not always feasible with toddlers to take a nap while also working corporate, because that's the biggest thing. God is showing me how I can transition from being a corporate woman to the homeschooling mom and entrepreneur that he's been showing me for a while now. And so, as I was just working with him, and praying through that, I couldn't figure out a solution. I was like, God, I just keep falling asleep. And then I'm making this excuse of not wanting to get up, and I want to just sleep because I'm going to be tired. And so I felt like he was like, you need to see your future self who's past this and who has already passed this solution. And you need to hear from her. Like, get into the mindset and put yourself in the shoes I don't know if y'all could hear me. Girls, no shouting. Put yourself in the shoes of her. And so I did, in prayer. I just started visualizing myself as that woman who, I saw her. She was out on the tennis court in her backyard, because that's one of the the visuals I have, where I can play tennis with my girls or with my husband, and we can stay active that way, and a lot of other things that it also accomplishes all at once. But she's on the tennis court, and I approached her. She saw me, came over to me, and we were talking for a bit. And then I asked her, like, how do you keep your energy high throughout the day for all the things that God has given you to accomplish? And she was like, oh, we changed our diet. We don't eat the sugary stuff anymore. We no longer crave sugar, so we don't get those sugar drops. And y'all, I know it sounds so simple and even probably hard. You hear something like that, but for me, I was like, okay, I don't know why, hearing it from her, not just from some random YouTube person, but hearing it from the me that I knew God was saying is already there in the future, right? Had me completely more compelled to embrace it as, oh, because she said, yeah, she's like, there are people who have done this, you're no less than they are. So she's like, be patient with yourself, but it's just something you're going to train yourself for. But we did it. We figured out how to not retrain our taste buds to not crave sugar, and just to eat more life-giving, energetic foods in the morning, so you no longer have that crash. That's no longer an issue for you, and it was actually helped you in so many other areas. And so hearing her say that just immediately gave me so much more confidence and strategy to go back to in prayer with God and say, all right, God, so this is the plan. She's past this. She said this is really a non-issue. We know what to do now. So at least, knowing what to tackle. So I feel like for somebody who's stuck and you just couldn't even get a simple answer as that out of just your normal praying and thinking, sometimes you just need to visualize yourself as the woman who is already past that issue, and it helps you better embrace it for you. Because I've heard that before, cutting sugar helps with focus and all that, but for some reason it didn't connect with something I needed to do at this juncture in my life. I'm not there. I have too many other things. But tying it to this area of where this is where I was stuck, and this is, the woman though that I'm looking up to, and knowing that God is telling me she's next, she's near. And hearing it from her that this is what we did, I was like, oh, so no, that's for me, right? Now it wasn't just some random advice. I was like, that is exactly all I need to focus on retraining. So that's been, my current thing of retraining my taste buds and including more raw foods and greens in the mornings. And it's been happening, ups and downs, but like she said to me, be patient with yourself. So I feel like it's a way of utilizing your imagination, like we said, for you. I was watching Inside Out 2 with the girls, and I really loved how they kind of showed those examples of how we can utilize imagination against us versus using it for us to imagine the best case victory scenarios where, oh my gosh, you do overcome, you do get the best thing that God had, planned and promised, and to visualize and see how it happened. So try it. If that's you and you've never considered that, try to pause in prayer the next time God is giving you something to do or something that you feel like you can't get past. And don't come from the place of being a victim, but try to sit and visualize yourself as the woman who has already overcome it. Tap into her, sit in her shoes, and then ask her a simple question that you've been stuck on and see what she says. I know for me, it has been helping me recently, so I wanted to suggest that to someone. All right, y'all.